Hi, and welcome to the Queen Bees of History podcast, episode 1. I'm Miss Manel.
And I'm Miss McQueen.
And we started this podcast so that we could review some of the material that you guys have learned this year. So I'm going to hand it over to Miss McQueen to start us off with our first episode, which is geography trivia.
So, hey guys, this is going to hopefully just be a review for what you should have picked up already this year. Everybody knows I love geography, so I figured why not do a recap of the civilizations that we cover all the time and what their geography is, how they survived near those types of landforms, and what was there, and where are they, etc. So, to get us kicking off today, we've got a special guest. We're going to see how smart, super smart, is he smarter than a sixth grader in geography? Mr. Warren, our sixth grade principal.
The answer is no, I'm not smarter than a sixth grade. We will see at the end of this whether or not Mr. Warren could pass a sixth grade geography test. I'm very excited. We'll see how this goes.
We're excited. Let's get started.
So, episode 1 is asking about, first off, the 4 river valley civilizations that we learned first off. We learned that there are 4 civilizations, and they all started by a river. The first one being Mesopotamia, I'll give you that. And the second one, not far away, is referred to as a gift to Egypt. So, Mr. Warren, the gift of this to the Egyptian civilization would be?
About the river?
Uh-huh.
Hey!
River. And then one in Asia that is considered to be China's sorrow.
Is it Tigris? Is Tigris Euphrates?
China's?
No, see, this is what I was saying. So we already found the answer. Miss Ward is not smarter than a sixth
No,
grade.
this is too early.
It's too early in the game to call. So, first, he's talking about the cradle of civilization, right? So he wanted to start at the beginning, and he's given us the very first rivers, which were the Tigris and Euphrates. But
I'm starting at the very beginning of world history.
yes, my bad. I was rolling with it, but he's gotten the Nile and the Tigris and the Euphrates already. Now we just need China's sorrow, which, if you remember, was a particular color.
Yellow.
Hey, there we go.
And then lastly, we call it India now, but when it first started out, it was in the Indus River Valley. And so the river there was the Indus River. Look at him.
Friend,
On
Mr.
a-
Queen,
friend.
On a roll he is.
I wouldn't go that far. But let's see how the question goes.
All right, so again, we started with the very first civilization, Mesopotamia, and we learned that there were 2 very important rivers there. He's already reminded us, the Tigris and Euphrates. But there was also another nickname for Mesopotamia. It was nicknamed the Fertile Crescent. Do you know why?
It is the Fertile Crescent because how close they were to the rivers. The land there was a little more fertile than other places in our other civilizations because of proximity to rivers.
Hey, good job.
So that fertile land helped them to start to grow foods that they could eat and feed themselves, feed their groups of people, their families. What does Mesopotamia mean? We learned specifically.
Translates to something.
Land between 2 rivers?
Hey,
No.
good job.
No, just killing it.
I know.
Killing the game. And then lastly, in regards to Mesopotamia, we're hoping that students remember that it was a system that they get credit for, right? A system that supplies water to their dry lands, and they did it through ditches and streams. That whole system is called...
About irrigation?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
an irrigation system. All right. So he is rolling straight through it. Mesopotamia, check. What about Egypt? Egypt was the next civilization that we learned about, and this continent, the continent most of ancient Egypt is on is
Africa.
Hey.
Every one of my answers is going to end with a question mark because it's been so long since I've taught world history.
So then what is that sea that's to the east of Egypt? Moses split this, go.
Red Sea.
There
Yes.
you go. Red Sea. I always tell my students it looks like ET giving the peace
It
sign.
does.
Yep.
It has a very specific shape there. And let's go back to the Nile that is the gift of Egypt. Which direction does that river flow in? It's very significant for them. It flows into the Mediterranean, but which direction?
It's unusual for a river to flow this way.
If it's unusual, I'd go south to north, then, wouldn't it?
Yes? No? South to
Well,
north?
see, okay, here
No.
we go.
Yeah, to north. He's
Yeah,
right.
south to
Yeah.
north. That's what
You're
I'm
right.
That's the person that threw me off.
Yeah.
It always
Correct.
threw me off too, because I'm like, I knew it was unusual.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts in the
Final
south.
answer.
It's split into the bluish white Nile, and then it goes up. Yep.
Awesome. Tell us about the natural barriers that students should know about that surround all of Egypt. It's surrounded by this landform, this type of landform.
There's extreme temperatures.
Oh, desert.
Yeah. And so the Egyptians depended on the Nile for a few things. Transportation. What else?
You asking him or me?
You take this
I'll
one.
take this one.
Yes, I'm voting
Communication, trade, water for their crops. They would use irrigation canals to bring the water to their fields.
Huge. And now we remember why it's called a gift.
Hmm. And it flooded annually, and like it was predictable, which was helpful to them to plan.
Okay. Now we're going to travel over to the other side, China. The largest body of water to the east of China. Huge. It kind of flows back around to our west side.
The Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean. Yes,
I
yes, yes.
I was like, whatever.
Pacific Ocean. What river comes over the United States?
My bad.
Pacific Ocean.
Pacific.
And there are a set of mountains that's between China and India. Kind of a border between them. Well-known mountain range.
So the tallest mountains in the world.
Himalayas.
Yes. We need a little buzzer next time.
I know, we do. So, next, northern civilization that often raided China. It was one of the reasons why they started building the Great Wall.
Oh, the Mongols.
Yes. The Mongols.
Yes.
And Genghis Khan.
Yes. One of my favorite characters.
Very gruesome character,
Yeah.
Miss McQueen. So, all right. We know where Miss McQueen's head's at.
For the sake of time, I'm going to continue to scoot on to our next civilization, India. Well, for us, Indus River Valley. And there were two cities in that region that came about.
Can see the look on his face already.
For those of you not watching, is stumped with this one.
Two cities that came up out of the Indus River Valley. One more north of the Indus River and one a little more down south. One is a two-part word, and then one starts with an M. Wait.
An H.
Thank you. So an M, and then
an H. What you think?
One begins with an M, one begins with an H.
Correct.
I'm going to have to phone a friend for this one. It's Benel.
I'm helping you out here. Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I know, Mohenjo-Daro, yes, that one I
There we
this
go.
thing. Harappa, we
No.
don't
Okay.
know nothing.
So Harappa was older than Mohenjo-Daro, so the Harappan civilization is probably the most well known there. But Mohenjo-Daro has a lot of archaeological sites, so that's good too.
And those cities were special when the archaeologists found those ruins because they were built on a particular system. How were their cities designed and built? That's very phenomenal for that time.
It's very mathematic.
They were built on a blank system. And we have this system in downtown Raleigh today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good, I'm not from North Carolina.
So, for example, if you were to graph in math, what type of paper would you use?
It'd be great.
There we go.
It was on a grid
The
system.
grid system.
Yes.
And adapting to their adapting to
Seasonal.
winds, and that makes seasonal. Seasonal winds in wet and dry times. This is a season that they had to adapt to. What was that well-known season for them? Lots of
Heavy rains
wind.
coming from the Indian Ocean northwards.
Are we talking about like an actual season, like winter, spring?
For them.
Oh, you are talking about season? I thought you were talking about what the name of the weather pattern is called.
Same. It's a rainy season for them. So really heavy rain.
What?
Are we looking for this?
It starts with an M.
Not the season, the actual name of what it's called when it rains really hard.
A monsoon.
Yes! I was confused. I will say that was a confusing wording.
We are testing my sixth grade knowledge because all of these things were nothing we talked about in freshman history. So,
monsoon season.
yes, monsoon season.
Which that was the summer, right?
That's what I was.
It happened in the summer.
That's what we talked about. I was going to say summer.
It was.
Yes, it happened in the summer.
And so then last one for Indus, the homes there were built on these to adapt to the rainy season. Once they figured out when the season was, they began to build their homes on these.
Because of flooding.
So that the homes wouldn't.
I do not know the term for that one.
So, like if you were to go to the beach, you see all the houses that are like propped up. What are they propped on?
What the
legs are called.
I don't know what the legs are called.
There's a guy walking around.
No
stilts.
I thought it was a more technical term than stilts.
Not in
Okay, there you go.
Literally called stilts. All right.
How about Rome? Rome is located in which country?
Italy.
Italy
Yes.
is located on which continent?
Europe.
Come on, you're killing it. How about it's built around this river?
Sounds tricky.
This one is tricky.
Goes down the Italian peninsula. Starts with a T.
I don't know this one.
Question is, do our students know?
I know. So if you're listening at home, do you know this answer? Do you want to take a guess? Do you want to phone a friend?
No, I definitely want to phone a friend. There's no chance I can.
It is the Tiber. Tiber River. Nope, that's okay. Nope. Tiber River. There's lots of rivers in Europe, so it's okay.
So we talk about that one a lot, and a particular mountain range, actually two. They are built through the middle, around the Apennine Mountains, but the ones to the north, that kind of
they're great for skiing.
Cut off the
No.
the northern part.
Yeah, the Alps. Yep.
Yep, the Alps.
And Rome was built on 7 of these types of landforms.
Plateaus. I love Miss Minow giving me the old.
Not it's less elevation than a plateau or a mountain.
We're talking about valley or hills and valleys.
Hills. There you go.
Now let's go over to their neighbor, Greece. What type of landform is Greece?
Oh, there's certainly two.
What do you mean by landform?
You know, mountains, hills, valleys, peninsulas,
islands.
Oh, so we're looking for any geography.
Like what is the main geography of Greece?
Are they mountainous as well?
They are mountainous.
Yeah.
But the reason that they became really strong at seafaring
is their proximity to the sea.
Yes, because they are a what? Yay!
And they have a ton of islands as well. So my question about how they adapted to the land that they were on, Greece was founded on, is they adapted by learning to feed their civilization. What? Like, how did they? Yes, they fished a lot.
That's what I was going to.
But how did they farm? What did they farm?
Like, do you have any items you can think of that would do really well in a mountainous region?
So what crops?
Yeah.
Grow in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, question: is it a common?
I would say so.
Common.
They can be used to make very common things.
It could be used to make very common things.
Like things we still use today in like
A
cooking.
common thing that could be used to make other common things.
Or one of them grows on vines.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other one is a staple in a Mediterranean diet. There's
Olives.
yes.
Good job.
There you go.
The only reason I know this is because one of my best friends growing up is Greek, so.
There you go.
There, you already had a friend in mind.
No.
All right, so we're going to do the last two really quickly. Mesoamerica, we cover about 3 different civilizations down there. So this particular civilization, should I give them the name or no?
Yes.
Say so.
Okay, so we're looking at the Aztecs, the Mayan, and the Incas.
So interesting fact about this, we did
Ah.
not cover this in freshwater history because they redid the standards. So we're going to see what Mr. Wolf remembers.
Oh,
So
okay.
in 6th grade.
Let's see.
I can't tell you how many years ago that was.
We'll just take some guesses. All right. What's your question?
Which one of those civilizations was located on the Yucatan Peninsula?
Incas.
Oh.
Okay, well, let's keep going. So if it's not the Incas, Aztecs. It's the Maya. There you go. So there you go. It's the last one. Process of elimination.
For those at home, it is the Mayans.
Yeah. And if you couldn't tell, Miss Bunnell was giving me the
Now you know how I'm has to.
Okay, we'll keep it going. Which of those 3 civilizations was built on Lake Texcoco?
I slightly remember this from 6th grade, but I'm not even confident in the answer because
It's a very war-driven civilization.
the Aztecs.
Correct.
Ah, look at you. Regaining the confidence. in you. And then this one, they all should know out in listening land, but the adaptation of the Incas for growing food. They were located in the Andes Mountains, so you can't hunt really in the mountains. How did they
farm?
Yeah.
On mountains.
So were they the civilization that built the steps into the hills and mountains?
Yes. Do you remember what that's called?
Oh.
Bonus points. Starts with a T.
Terrace.
Yeah.
Terrace
farming.
Awesome.
My 6th grade citizens
Doing
were
great.
very, very pleased. I remember
Yes.
that.
And let's just do one more to see if you can redeem your first effort here.
That's a nice way of saying Mr. Warner's not smarter than me.
Oh no.
Biggest valley, yes, I bombed. Let's see if we can get on this last one.
So which of the 3 modified to their territory, right? They modified the land by using the slash and burn method.
I believe that's the Mayas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Slash and burn.
Where did they live?
Trees and burning stuff.
Well, it was to your point, they reacted to their climate and the landscape, and well, that's all I got for that one.
They lived in a particular spot that had a lot of moisture.
Right. Well,
Which is
yes.
called a what?
It's warm and rains.
Tropics. Well, rainforest.
Yeah.
Rainforest. Look at there. Reading.
All right. And last but not least,
The last one is Japan.
Oh boy.
our students love Japan.
They do.
They're big fans this year.
What type of landform is Japan?
Like
Just in general.
All of Japan is
a
island.
Yes.
an island. How many islands make up Japan?
Is it plus or minus 10?
It is minus. It is less than 10.
Let's go with 6.
So close. It was 4. It was 4. So close though.
4 islands.
Did you ask him what a series of islands is called?
Yes.
Archipelago.
Hey! Ding ding. All right.
Do they have an active volcano? Yes or no?
Yes.
What's it called?
Until you ask me. Is it a common one?
Yeah. Mount.
Yeah. I can name one volcano.
Or like these kind of apples or
Fuji.
Yeah. Mount Fuji.
Fun fact, my wife's favorite apple.
There you go.
I was like, apple.
There you go. Love that.
Last question. Why is the population not very spread out in Japan?
Isn't it because they're surrounded by mountains, so they have to be in those little pockets of
Very
civilization. Yeah, it's very, very
Yeah. It's mountainous and lots of coastline, so you really are kind of stuck. Good job, Mr. Warren. Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you.
You're
I'm hoping
great.
sixth grade, that is, you're going through this, you remember a little bit more than I did. If you listen to this and when you listen to this, feel free to tell me in the hallway that you are smarter than I am.
All right, guys. Well, there may be some more episodes of this to come. We don't know how many yet, but there will be more to come and maybe more special guests. So thank you for tuning in. And yeah, test your knowledge. Are you smarter than Mr. Warren? We'll see. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.